Hello, this is Wmpyr. Here to talk about the Taekwondo kick versus the Muay Thai kick. So back in the 90s, that was the first time I joined a commercial martial arts studio. Okay, so martial arts school. I joined it here in Texas, in the USA. It was my first school. I had taken judo over in Japan as part of PE class, so that was technically my first martial arts class that I ever did in junior high. But then over here in the US, like I said, in 1990, that's when I joined the school. So in the school, my teacher basically taught his own system, and it was a system that was made up of three things. So the first one was Kuksul-wan, the second one was full contact fighting, and the third one was Arnis, which is Filipino martial arts. So that's what he basically taught. It was a combination of those three. It was a mixed thing, and in a way, I believe that he was ahead of his time. Okay, because some schools did not mix yet, and he was already he was doing that. So anyway, he was cross training in different styles, very very knowledgeable about many different styles. But those were the three that he focused on. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is the full contact fighting that we did from that school is primarily Korean martial arts based. So I could even say that it was basically Taekwondo, okay, but it was full contact Taekwondo. That's what we did. So that was my introduction into full contact fighting. Okay, so it was like old school Taekwondo. It's not like what you see in the Olympic Taekwondo or today's Taekwondo competitions, where they're very, very evolved from the Taekwondo that I learned. Even though what I learned wasn't called Taekwondo, it was just full contact fighting. But like I said, we could call it Taekwondo, but very different. And I got to experience more the modern Taekwondo in college with a buddy who was super into that stuff. And yeah, it is a big difference from the Taekwondo that I learned. So let me just put it that way, okay? So that being said, it's still Taekwondo. The kicks that we throw, right? The roundhouse kick, for example. You're in your fighting stance. You chamber your legs. So you raise the knee. You throw the kick, and then you retract it back into the chamber, and then you put it down. Okay, so it was very technical in that sense. Now, in the same year, 1990, that summer, I went to boarding school, and in that boarding school, there was it was an international boarding school, so it was international students there. One of the students was an exchange student from Thailand, and so this guy was an assistant coach back home in Thailand for Muay Thai kickboxing, and he was nice enough to teach me the basics for Muay Thai kickboxing. So he basically trained me in Muay Thai kickboxing. And, for me, I ate it all up. I was like, this is amazing stuff. And I really, really, really liked Muay Thai kickboxing, so it was just awesome to learn. Now, the way that he taught me the roundhouse kick was pretty much, we had to develop our shins, and you're throwing your shins as hard as you can into the target like a baseball bat. And he even said it's like a baseball bat swing. So if you think of it like that compared to the Taekwondo roundhouse kick, which, like I said, from your fighting stance, you chamber, you kick, you chamber, you go back to your chamber, and then you put your foot down. Very different, so it's like, okay, just hit that with your shin like a baseball bat as hard as you can. It's two totally different kicks, even though they're both roundhouse kicks. And then, of course, in Muay Thai kickboxing, there is a front kick in the roundhouse kicks, and that's really the primary. In Taekwondo, there's a ton of different kicks. I mean, spinning back kick is huge. Side kick is huge. There's also axe kicks, and then there's also flying stuff, So, I mean, it's just a lot more different types of kicks. And so even though they both do the same kicks, it's very, very different, right? That's what I'm trying to say. So the main point here, okay, is I'm saying that the Taekwondo roundhouse kick and the Muay Thai roundhouse kick is different. That's what I'm saying, all right? Even though I learned the old school Taekwondo roundhouse kick, it's still different, right, from the Muay Thai style. Now, then the question is, what's up with that, right? Which one's better? Which one should I practice more? What's going on with that? Why are they different? You know, so that is important. This kind of question you need to ask yourself in your martial arts journey, and this is how you have puzzles that show up, and you solve the puzzle, and then a new answer or you know, a new puzzle pops up, and you keep going, and you keep developing and crafting, and you keep going, and you want to do lots and lots of this kind of puzzle solving, okay? And just because you solve it doesn't mean that's it, it's done. Your answer may change in a couple of years, so you have to keep that in mind. You have to be flexible with this stuff. So in other words, it is a development. It's not a final answer, that's it. No, it's a development, okay? All right, so that being said, Taekwondo roundhouse kick, Muay Thai roundhouse kick, two different roundhouse kicks. So from a Taekwondo perspective, you look at a Muay Thai roundhouse kick and you go, that's too slow. And plus, you're swinging it from, you know, you're putting your whole body in there, and it's a full follow through and everything. That it's just, you know, it telegraphs, and it's way too slow. That's never gonna land, right? Just wait till you fight a Thai fighter, okay? And when you fight a Thai fighter, you're gonna start going, wait a minute, their stuff is landing. But anyway, from a Taekwondo perspective, I don't think that's wrong to go, that's too slow, it telegraphs too much, you know, you're committed too much, or your recovery is going to take too much time, and all this. All those criticisms is not wrong from a Taekwondo perspective. But this is where we need to understand, a Taekwondo fighter is primarily fights more compared to a Thai boxer, more so in long range. Okay. Therefore, in long range, speed is more important. Power is less important. Because you're further away, that means you can see what's coming. So if you go with a big old swing like this, they're going to see it from a mile away. So then you have to be more tricky. You have to be faster. Okay. The Muay Thai fighters, on the other hand, is much more closer to medium range, and they're getting ready to go into close range and grab you and start dropping those knees and elbows. So if you think of it that way, a Muay Thai fighter fights much more closer than a Taekwondo person. So in that case, when you're in that close, then you really don't have a lot of time to react. Therefore, in that situation, I already know their stuff's going to land on me, my stuff's going to land on, we're this close, then the person that does damage first wins. Therefore, power suddenly becomes really important. Fakes, not as much, okay? Further away, yes, fakes, feints, all that becomes super important. When you're much, much closer, and the target's right there, you know, then less so important. Is my point. Speed is less so important. It's much, much more important. Power, okay? That power lands. So they're both fighting in two totally different ranges, is what I'm saying. So the Taekwondo fighter in long range, Muay Thai fighter in medium range. And that's why the roundhouse kick, even though it's the same it's a roundhouse kick, which is the same technique, it's done differently in each style because they fight in different ranges. So that's why I came to the conclusion that it's not just this, but this is one of the things that just backs up my thinking that ranges, each range you fight differently in because they have different characteristics. Okay, so that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.